This might be a little hard to believe, ladies, but I'm single. So, Cuck is a movie that I've actually talked about before. It's a 2019, I guess, political drama satire sort of character study type film, you know, in the vein of Taxi Driver or even more recently, Joker. It's directed by Rob Lambert and stars Zachary Ray Sherman. And what interested me about this film was the premise alone, because my main positives for the movie was that it did have an interesting concept. It had a story that I think, if handled with a bit more care, could have been something truly worthwhile. Maybe not something fantastic, maybe something fantastic, but at least something a bit more watchable. I was recently contacted on my YouTube comments section by James Molina, who did the production sound mixing on the film, and we did a little typed interview type thing over email, and I, of course, have some interesting information to share with you, with his permission, of course. So the first question I asked him was what it was like to work with Rob Lambert, and this is what he had to say.
Working with Rob Lambert was fantastic. He genuinely cared about the well-being of the crew, he was very respectful and professional, and often took the time to talk to me about specific sound recording challenges and how to best overcome them. Like in the final scene, which is in a noisy little market/liquor store on Magnolia Boulevard in NoHo. I would have no problem working with him again.
And then I asked him whether or not it was a lack of talent or a lack of care, and what he said made a fair amount of sense.
Rob did care about this film, and I believe he did his absolute best. The talent was great, but sometimes on a low-budget feature we often spend time getting too many alternative takes and don't focus enough time on getting what's original to the script. Filming is only 33% of the feature filmmaking process. The two other thirds are pre- and post-production. I believe not having the luxury of a larger budget didn't allow Rob to go back and reshoot, and this makes a significant difference to the final product.
You see, it actually makes sense after looking at it from that perspective, because, like I said, the movie visually, one of my other positives, besides it having an interesting story buried underneath it, was that it had a few interesting shots. It was competently made. It wasn't unbearable to look at. I liked how Ronnie's camera was like really low quality, kind of like how this is. Like, this is actually what his camera looked like, instead of it very lazily being a crystal clear HD, very obviously production company movie camera. I found this interview online where the guy who plays the main character, Ronnie, Zachary Ray Sherman, and the lady who plays his mother, Sally Kirkland, are talking about the movie. It has a lot of dislikes for some reason. I don't really understand why. I guess it's just because people hate the movie. It's a fairly standard interview, it's nothing special. They just kind of go straight to the point. They talk about the movie, they make it seem like it's this great experience. I think maybe they are slightly proud of what they made, even if deep down they do know it is just a little bit bad. Did you get a chance to meet and know Zachary Ray Sherman? If so, what's he like?
Zach was so cool to meet and work with, and we have kept in touch through social media and emails. He put his heart and soul into the Ronnie character. Zach is a vegan and gained almost 40 pounds prior to filming. That's dedication.
Were there any major challenges working on the film?
No real challenge other than being in public places shouting the word repeatedly and getting the permit to film a scene at night with a guy pointing a handgun and firing live blanks and shouting racial slurs.
What was the most enjoyable part of working on the film?
The most enjoyable part of filming Cuck was, as in any film production, in the unknown. First day of shooting I asked myself, who are these people? Then the last day of filming I say to myself, I'm going to miss all of you. It's like going to summer camp, lots of drama and equal amounts of fun and adventure. I can proudly say I survived Camp Cuck. Loved every minute of it.
Now, for this next question, I was told a very interesting story, and unfortunately I do have to redact some information because I'm very scared of actually getting sued by the person involved, as well as publicly naming the victim in this situation.
Was fired because, in my personal opinion, for one, his inability to get off the book. The line producer had to make cue cards for him to read behind the lens. Didn't go well, as one would expect. Two, and had worked in the past and apparently had some prior relationship with one another because as we, my boom operator Casey and several others, waited on set for next setup, arrived to greet by reaching out and grabbing both of her breasts and saying, "How are you? Long time no see." I don't really care, that's her business, but it made many people uncomfortable and soon people started to talk. 3. We are now in the scene where Rob asks to ad-lib a line. Ad-lib was, in front of the entire cast and crew, "I don't know, darling, can you still get wet?" As you would expect, many people were offended, but this wasn't the last straw. Our wardrobe assistant offered a robe because it was a little chilly and he thought it would be nice to say to her, "Aren't you the cutest little thing?" and proceeded to hug her, which sounds harmless enough, but the wardrobe assistant, 5'1", 90 pounds, was very frightened by the tall and dishevelled looking and began to cry and run away in utter humiliation. This caused more concerns. This is when Rob stopped production, had several meetings with people to gather information, and to check the welfare of everyone including the makeup artist, who also experienced inappropriate words from in his trailer, but I didn't witness that incident. Rob gathered all of us and announced that he had just fired and that we would be recasting for the role of Larry. What I found interesting was reaction to groping. His reaction was simply, in a playful voice, "Oh!" It was clear to all of us that had become accustomed to this type of behaviour in the past.
Do you think a bigger YouTuber like Ralph the Movie Maker or Your Movie Sucks will discover Cuck one day and maybe give it some more recognition, or will it fade into obscurity?
An entire year has passed and my YouTube recommendations brought me to your channel and at least 4 others on the similar topics titled Zero at the Box Office, Joker Ripoff, Work Failure, etc. I believe Cuck will start to gain popularity solely based on its negative online perception. Even though I consider Rob Lambert a very competent director and filmmaker, I think for many viewers and film critics, he in the movie Cuck may fall unjustly to a Tommy Wiseau category, and will forever be immortalised into the canals of the internet.
Did you attend any screenings for Cuck, or was it just another job you chose to forget about?
Yes, I attended the Cuck premiere at the Chinese Theatre in Hollywood with the entire cast and crew as one would expect. My girlfriend Jackie and I had an amazing time. For me personally, it's always a gratifying moment to admire and criticise my work on the silver screen. Listening to the dialogue I recorded through Dolby Atmos surround sounded nothing short of amazing. Yes, I am guilty of being vain, please forgive me. There are many times I glance through my IMDb credits and can't remember the slightest detail about the film, but as far as Cuck is concerned, it will forever be one of my favourite film experiences.
How long have you been working in the industry?
I've been doing sound for television for over 25 years as an audio engineer, and as a production sound mixer and sound supervisor for film for over 7 years, with Melody Gun Studios in Hollywood, California.
The English tabloid The Guardian, as well as one other I forget the name of, wrote a piece online claiming that Cuck is superior to Todd Phillips' similar concept movie Joker. Do you agree with this?
The Cuck movie concept being superior to Joker? In my opinion, no. More relatable? Yes. It's unfair to compare the two films. Zack isn't considered an A-list actor and Rob isn't considered an A-list director. Budget isn't even close and the resources available in comparison on these two films are astronomical.
For some reason he chose not to answer my last 3 questions, and to be fair, I told him that if he didn't want to answer any questions he didn't have to. I guess he just didn't feel like it. They are pretty basic questions compared to the first 10. So I'll just link his IMDb page down below so you yourself can find out what he's up to, see what he's doing. And to be fair, as I said before, a lot of the production aspects on Cuck were of fair quality, the sound mixing being one of them. So anyone out there looking to hire a good sound mixer who's been in the business for a few years, I'd say check him out and see if he wants to work on your movie. James was also nice enough to send me a little behind the scenes video of the final shootout and some behind the scenes production stills. Thank you all so much for watching this video and have a great day.
Sound speeds?
Speeding.
Yep. 97 Baker, take 5. Rolling. Action! Gun! Drop the gun! Drop it now! Drop it now! Go now!